Good morning, you guys. Before I jump into this next video, just a friendly reminder that the opt-in is available at saimahsexperience.com. The membership will be going live September 21st, so stay tuned. Keep an eye on your email inboxes, and I'll definitely keep you guys posted on the membership. Thanks so much for watching, and here's the next video.
Hi guys. Okay, so I'm going to take a couple minutes and ramble about some thoughts that are crossing my mind right now, because right now downstairs in my garage I am ozoning yet another car from weed smoking, and it was bad, so much ash everywhere, and that has just been kind of the theme for me lately here in my area, and I know it's been like that for some other hosts as well who have reached out to me and kind of shared the same thing. And of course, this is one area where I definitely agree with the policies that Turo has in terms of smoking. It is definitely very favorable to the host, and rightfully so, because it is such a pain when your car does come back smelling like that, and it requires a whole lot of time to properly and thoroughly get it clean and to get that smell out and get all the ash out, which is very difficult and time consuming and costly. So that smoking fee feature that they have is definitely very helpful, and of course you can only get that reimbursement if there is photographic evidence of ash or weed or cigarettes or whatever it might be in the car. Luckily, I find that 9 out of 10 times that photographic evidence is almost always there, and I've never had an issue claiming for that smoking fee. But it kind of got me thinking about a lot of things, because I got another rental today too, where I looked at the renter's review, and her previous review kind of stated the same thing that I just experienced with this other car, that, everything was great, but the car came back, sort of covered in ash and smoked in, and that was pretty terrible for that host. So with that in mind, the thing that I was thinking about is, and someone please correct me if I'm wrong if you know otherwise, but as far as I can tell, when renters get hit with that smoking fee, they're still able to rent again on the platform. I'm actually surprised that Turo doesn't ban renters like that on the platform. Well, for one, first and foremost, of course, to a host, that's a low quality renter, because of the condition that the cars come back in. So that's not bringing quality to the marketplace. But secondly, at least here in California, I would say 98% of the time, the smoking that I see in my cars is definitely from weed, right? And it could be because weed is legal here, but it's still definitely illegal to be high and drive, right? And obviously, if a car is covered in smoke and ash, it's highly likely to make the assumption, the probability that they are driving while they're high. And to some people, not a big deal, of course, but given what we know about Turo, one of the things that they're trying to do is lower their risk, especially when it comes to claims, because that's their highest cost of doing business, right? It's very costly to them. So it surprises me that they don't ban people off the platform who do clearly get caught for doing that. Now, of course, one can say that, oh, well, it could be cigarette smoke, but at least in the instances where it's clearly weed, clearly marijuana, and a car is in really bad condition, I really do think that those renters should be banned on the platform, so that that low quality renter doesn't continue to circulate around the platform. And so that kind of brings me back to the rental that I got today. I had a decision to make. This renter had one previous trip. She had that low review from her previous trip about the smoking issue. Now, I've talked about in the past how I definitely have a system for handling smoking. Like, I have my cleaning set up, I have my ozoning, but it's still a pain, right? I had my car priced quite high today because it is Labor Day and I was fishing for that higher priced rental, and she paid $170 to rent my BMW X4, which is a great day rate. And then I had the dilemma of her having that low review. So I really had to make a decision. Should I take the risk of taking on a low quality renter in the hopes that maybe she's reformed from her previous experience and that I won't experience that again, and take the day rate, and if things do go bad, be okay with the smoking cleaning fee that I potentially can get, and not even for certain, because it depends on if that evidence is there. So for me, because of the setup that I have, I'm willing to take that risk, so I took that booking. But what I often think about is, what if there is a great host who just came onto the platform, and maybe they're not as versed as someone like me into dealing with situations like this, and they put their super nice car out on the platform, like, you know, a Tesla Model S or a Porsche Boxster or whatever it might be, right? And this is their first experience with a low quality renter. Is that enough to deter them from continuing to rent on the platform? And I think in some cases it absolutely is. If a new host come across something like that and they're like, oh my gosh, what is this? I didn't sign up for this. So what is the policy for bad renters not being able to rent again on the platform? I personally am not really too familiar with it. So if you guys know what it is for Turo, definitely let me know. If you can comment down below and kind of share your feedback, that would be great. You know, especially because, as we know, one of the priorities for Turo is to really push hosts who offer high quality experiences, high quality cars, high value, right? So if we want to push value on the host side, we should definitely, or rather quality, we should definitely push quality on the renter side as well, so that it all around is a great experience for both sides, both the renter and the host. And then of course to lower risk for Turo and their claims department. So I find that to be very interesting. And I don't know what their parameters are for stopping a bad renter from continuing to rent. So for example, I think it's like on the host side, if your ratings fall below 80%, you're off the platform. So what is that for a renter? Because the girl that I just rented to today, she had a 2-star rating, which is pretty bad. So I don't know. What is the answer to that? And while we're on the topic of cleaning, one of the features that I really, really wish Turo would implement is a cleaning fee to allow a host to determine, and of course within reason, so they could set the parameters or the increments based on the car, whatever it might be, is to set a mandatory cleaning fee, especially in the era of this pandemic, right? It is. And I really pull this example off of my recent Airbnb experience that I have. Whereas with Airbnb, a host is really allowed to set what their cleaning cost is, and it's fixed into the rental. It's not optional, right? Whereas on Turo, it is optional for the renter. I would love if Turo made a feature to really help a host out where that cleaning fee is fixed in, so that you don't have to tell your guests, hey, you might want to add on the cleaning fee, or try to charge them after for it and have them get upset, because then again, that affects the ratings as well. So that's one feature I really, really wish they had, especially now more than ever. As a host, it's definitely costing us more time and money to keep our cars clean. With the stricter cleaning protocols that Turo has, that they implemented and made mandatory, we should have something to kind of offset that. At least that's what I think, you know, and let me know if you guys agree with it or not. In this day and age, you know, we have to make sure we're going out and getting disinfecting supplies, which we never had to do before. And not only that, but it's hard to find the good stuff nowadays. When you do go and get disinfectant, there's so much stuff that smells super funky. You know, it doesn't exactly smell like Lysol or Purell, the things that we're used to, because of just the shortages that have been going on all around. And so it's a whole extra thing that we have to do. And as a host, you know, I want to make sure that I continue to maintain a very high level of cleanliness. I do want my renters to walk into a car and be able to smell that it's clean. That was my recent experience when I flew to Colorado and I got on the airplane. You can literally smell it in the air, how clean it was. And it really does put you at ease knowing that this airplane was clean before you got into it. So yeah, if I had a feature that I would love for them to add, it would be that mandatory cleaning fee now more than ever. And also, I guess the thing that really brought that thought home for me today is when you have cars that come back that are, you know, obviously these people are out partying. If they're smoking in your cars, if you find, you know, alcohol bottles or beer cans or whatever it is, right? People are just kind of in that mode, and maybe it varies by area, but I can for a fact say that about the last couple months of rentals that I've been getting is that people are definitely in that party mode. You might think to yourself, well, where are they partying? Everything's quarantined. If you really do some research and read into it, you know, there are all these underground parties that are going on. Airbnb reported on this as well, where they're really trying to restrict certain type of bookings so that people stop renting homes to throw parties, and they're limiting how many number of guests could be in a home, that whereas maybe before it was way more and now it's less, to prevent that, because they were seeing such an uptick in that type of behavior. And given the pandemic, they really wanted to try and control that. So this is happening. People are partying, and as a host, it puts you at a greater risk when you have those type of renters and they do get to continue to rent on the platform. And you know, we have that additional cost of cleaning fees, and you're more susceptible to, you know, maybe catching something because these people are out and about in crowds and doing God knows what. So I don't know, just a little bit of rambling for you guys today with some thoughts that were running through my mind with some of the rentals that came back for me today, and you know, just getting them clean. And I feel real icky after I get some of these cars back, and it's just like, ooh, you know, you can only imagine what some of these people were doing and where they were going and who they were with, God knows. Anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think about that. I'm gonna finish going and ozoning this car, making sure it's ready to go for its next trip and doesn't smell like anything funky, but that's basically what I've been experiencing. Have any of you guys been experiencing that? Let me know. All right, you guys, have a great rest of your night. Talk to you later. Bye.